Assalamu alaikum. My name is Nicolette Hodge.
Assalamu alaikum, I'm Malik Hodge. We're standing with the messenger of the covenant, the breaker of the seven seals, self-taught one, Master Suleiman, who's given us the Injil, the gospel of revelations with the Injil key that gives us the understanding of the unsealed scriptures.
Welcome, brothers and sisters, to our Sunday critique, where we evaluate the so-called information being given from the NOI broadcast, and we separate the truth from the falsehood, brothers and sisters. We give you clean water. Today's topic of the NOI broadcast is separation independence. And this is a play off of the upcoming holiday of Independence Day. We know that we have never been independent from these devils since the messenger has departed in 75. So the title itself is a contradiction: separation independence, because they're speaking about us being independent, however, not truly separating. And we'll get into that, brothers and sisters. The first speaker that came up was Devil Abel Muhammad, coming in saying that we need a change. Dissatisfaction brings about change. And of course, he's representing his people, the Latinos and Hispanics all over the world that have been brought into the NOI by Farrakhan himself. And with that right there, brothers and sisters, that is a direct contradiction to us separating from our enemy, because Farrakhan has opened up, changed the temples to mosque, and have opened up the temples to our very enemies. It has them styling them as student ministers, have our people integrating with these devils that are within the NOI. And so we need to understand that there's no way that any devil can teach us about separation. That is a contradiction. So that he's getting up there saying separate, but really what he's preaching is continue to integrate and mix with all these different people: brown, black, red, yellow, all these different races of people. And that is not what the messenger taught, nor is that what the messenger of, excuse me, brothers and sisters. Technical difficulties. So that is not what the messenger taught, nor is it what the messenger of the covenant, the Son of Man, is here fulfilling. We're here for our people, brothers and sisters, the silver, the Levites, and the gold, the tribe of Shabazz. That does not include any Hispanics, any devils, any demons, or any other race of people. So, do you have anything to add? So then the next speaker comes up, and his whole message is how to eat to live is the way of life. And what he's going into is how America's health systems are falling, and there's no way for us to be healthy and maintain our lives, when it comes to taking care of our bodies. And so we need our own, he's saying that we need our own hospitals and whatnot. And that's something that Ishmael said as well. Now there's two perspectives to look at it, brothers and sisters. The first is, we had our own when the messenger was here. However, the chief hypocrite, Louis Eugene Grounds, Legion, and Louis Eugene Grounds, NOI backwards, which is exactly what he did. He dissolved all the assets, put it in his pocket. And he has taken away everything that we had for ourselves, everything we worked for. The nation's net worth was 80 million. It is now nothing. Farrakhan's net worth, is $7 million. So we had everything we needed, brothers and sisters. Now the second part to that is America's healthcare was built off the blood of us, off of our backs. And so, and this goes to the Holocaust, an experience that we are going to keep reminding our brothers and sisters about because they're working overtime to hide what has been done to us. The Holocaust is not slavery. Slavery is a very small percentage of what they did to us. The Holocaust is our full scope of our experience here of being beaten, raped, tortured, sodomized, eaten alive, burned, boiled alive, skinned. All of this for sport and play at the hands of these devils. And we know that heart surgeries, C-sections, any surgery you can think of, all of that was backed by them experimenting on us. That's where all these medical breakthroughs have come from. Even their cures to their different ailments have come from taking our very DNA, while giving us cancers and syphilis and whatnot to kill us off. All of these medical breakthroughs have been through tormenting us, putting us through the Holocaust, terrorizing us. So this health system was never right at all. That's what I'm getting to. It has always been corrupted. It has never been in place to help us or keep us healthy or anything. And the biggest thing to understand with that is How to Eat to Live was given to us by Elijah Muhammad, the messenger. The whole thing with that was to get us cleaned up off of this swine and preserve us to the point where we would be alive when the messenger of the covenant came on the scene, which is the Son of Man, Master Solomon. So while they're up here complaining about the hospital situation and whatnot, we need to understand that the healthcare was never designed for us. That's why we're supposed to have our own until it's time to go home, not have our own and stay here forever. So, do you have anything on that?
That basically what you said. It was just he spoke on that, that Americans, how they ranked in healthcare around the world.
Mm-hmm.
And how How to Eat to Live was given to us, and it basically, that How to Eat to Live is what can keep you functionable, and keep you alive, and then heal you up. It's the aspect of how to heal your body, and it has been given to us by the messenger of God to heal you up. So it was another what they've been doing week to week now is concentrating on the 2 books of How to Eat to Live. So,
and one thing we need to understand, brothers and sisters, is that like I said, How to Eat to Live would have got us have us survive long enough to meet the messenger of the covenant and move on to our next phase of preparing to go home. We have the 5 fundamental mathematical pillars of Islam. Nobody on the planet understands this. The Sunnis have it all wrong. The Son of Man, Master Solomon, has brought this knowledge to us and has proven it, how these 5 pillars work. So the first pillar is consequence. The second is fasting. The next is torque, which is how we strengthen our hearts. Zakat, charity, and the last one is Hajj. And with understanding of these 5 mathematical pillars, that is going to preserve us and get us through everything that's taking place right now, because it's our shield, it's our protection. How to Eat to Live don't teach you how consequence and pressure works. How to Eat to Live don't teach you that for every action there's an opposite or equal reaction, and it doesn't explain how charity works, currents work, and how we maintain a certain pressure, and making sure that we don't our pressure rises above those of our enemies, and we do that with the 5 pillars. So, brothers and sisters, how to eat to live does not give us a full scope of what we need to even get through war. I'm not even talking about prophecy and getting home. How to eat to live is not getting us through war. Period. So it's there's a book for every season, and this is not the season for how to eat to live is it's information that can be used. However, it's not information that's going to get us home, brothers and sisters. Now, do you have anything else to add before we move on?
No.
Okay. So then we have another speaker come up and saying how you shall know the truth. Jeffrey, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. We need to cut the umbilical cord between us and massive. Now, this is something that the Son of Man, Master Solomon, has been speaking about as far as knowing the truth, and the truth sets you free. It's not a specific person that sets you free. It's having knowledge of self that makes you free. Yes, sir. It's us having this knowledge of self, understanding who we are, who our enemies are. That's freedom in itself, because they can no longer keep us under their thumb if we know who we are, and we will rise, come together overnight if we understood who our enemies are. And so this message from this speaker was know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. However, in the they're not giving you any truth of what you need to know to get home. Matter of fact, you don't have a home as far as they're concerned, brothers and sisters, because you're not going back to Africa. That's what Ishmael said, and Farrakhan said we ain't going nowhere. So what truth is it for us to be? Basically, you're not getting any truth, so you're not going to be set free. That's all it boils down to. You're not receiving any truth about your reward and your promise, brothers and sisters, for us going home. So if you don't know the truth, then you cannot be set free. Let me say that again. Know the truth, and the truth should set you free. So if you don't know the truth, you cannot be set free. There's no way you can be set free under the chief demon and his imps. And that's what they're telling people. Come here to the NOI so you can experience this, experience freedom. But they're not telling you any truth. So there is no way you're going to ever be free when you don't know the truth about who you are. You don't know the truth about your covenant. You don't know anything, brothers and sisters. So, is there anything you want to add to that?
Are we getting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna let Brother Malik. The meat.
You to get into
the meat of the presentation.
Presentation.
Okay, so we had Ishmael. He's the head spokesman for Farrakhan. One of the biggest hypocrites. He's the messenger, Honorable Elijah Muhammad's son. He knows the truth. However, he's working with Farrakhan to make sure we don't understand it. What's going on? So he's saying obliterate the thought in your mind that he's saying that we need to separate. Come out of their ways. However, we need to we get to get a piece of this land for ourselves. Go ahead.
Begin with the topic separation, independence. It came out with that this independence, you're not to share independence with them or with America. If the black man wasn't independent at that time. However, that the God of the time came on the scenes in 1930 on July the 4th, and which is the Independence Day of the Nation of Islam. And after after the black man and woman had been in this Holocaust, or the Holocaust, or being terrorized for 400 plus years, then the God came up on the scene and brought us this brought us the gift of being raised up out. So the God came up on the scene. So then he went into God, being a man. He will walk with you, talk with you, sup with you, giving the understanding of God being a man instead of a spook that, we know that. So this is his spiel, that God is a man, and Master Farah Muhammad is this God that came up on the scene that we were blessed with. This is the God that came and gave us the knowledge of self. Then went into the knowledge of self as before I go into that, he went into how you should know the truth and the truth will set you free. But he went into the most beautiful human being is how beautiful the hypocrite, the son of perdition, Louis Eugene Grounds, or Louis Farrakhan, is. He went so far to say he's the personification, the embodiment of love, and that how beautiful, how beautiful my brother is. That's when he said how beautiful he is, and that he used to come out and speak to when he began speaking on the behalf of the messenger, he used to come out and say, give the greetings and say how beautiful the brothers and sisters were. And then he led that the messenger said that how can you be beautiful when you're
acting other than yourself,
not accepting, or something like they say that he was how can you be beautiful when you're not accepting, or something to that nature. And then he says Elijah told him, Louis the hypocrite, that he is a beautiful man. And he's a beautiful man. and that God has blessed him with the ways to say what he's saying, and he's not just beautiful. He's a what Ismail said. He's attractive. He's an attractive. Yeah, attractive.
What's attractive about being chastised, disemboweled by Allah for being a hypocrite? He has nothing but a big old mouth.
However, that's what he said. He's attractive, and while he was speaking about the God, Master Farah Muhammad, he's bringing this up to say, what we were given or what we need and what is needed to bring us out or to bring us what we need to be brought out has already been given to us. So he went into, I'll make sure I get this all right, how beautiful the skies and how beautiful the order, the nature's order is, and how the red ant, the brown ant, the black ant had their own and how the blackbird has its own nest, and the robin, and everybody had their own. But said all that to say that everybody, everything has its own, and then he said, but you don't see the a white bird in a blackbird's trying to get in the blackbird's nest and raise the blackbird, or so he was saying, like, you using these nature's terms in this way that you don't see the at the same time the red ant has its own colony, and the black ant has its own colony, so they have their own. And what he was where he was going with this is that everybody have to have their own. So you want to elaborate, because I don't want to get to jumping and go too far ahead of into the.
Sure. Okay, sure. Let me add something to when he's saying that everyone has to have their own. He's saying how, he never seen a black bear with a polar bear, a black bear with a white bear, and how we need to separate. However, it's a direct contradiction, brothers and sisters, because Farrakhan has placed devils in the NOI. And Farrakhan himself is a devil. His father is a devil. So that makes him a devil man, which is a demon. And so everything that comes out is a direct contradiction. Because they're telling you, as a black bird, to go share a nest with a white bird, which would be a devil, using his analogy. And so everything's a direct contradiction. And getting back to that beauty thing, he said that Farrakhan personifies the love of Almighty God Allah. That is a huge claim to make. Because what has he done? And this is another thing, I want to make this clear. They always want to put you in the heart zone, brothers and sisters. They want to get you with your feelings. They want to tell you about love and beautiful and stuff that feels good, when we cannot nail down one thing that Farrakhan has did to help our people. So he personifies the love of Almighty God Allah. They got that concept of personifying anything from the Son of Man, Master Solomon, because this is a known concept with the angel that we speak all the time. How the devil was made in haste. He's a personification of weakness and wickedness. And so we had to create this being that personified this weakness, this weakness that we were getting out of us. And so personifying, and that language right there is an analogy and concept that we use quite a bit to explain our whole predicament of how we even got here in the first place. So he's coming in saying how Farrakhan personifies love. How? How is he the personification of love? When he completely robbed us, pillaged and plundered the NOI. And not only that, had our brothers and sisters turning away from all of the teachings and not understanding that we are the gods and goddesses of the universe, that we're the ones creating time. We're the ones making these events take place that you call what? Catastrophes, excuse me, or weather changes, weather patterns, catastrophic events. We're the ones causing that. And so he's been disemboweled. That is a public chastisement, or a direct chastisement, something that we can all bear witness to and see. And that's for him being a hypocrite and going against the teachings of the messenger. He's not the personification of love, brothers and sisters. They're lying. And the only reason why they're doing that is to get you in your heart zone so that you don't use your mind to start asking questions.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
The thing that was to be presented in this presentation is that God had came, and the God presented us with what we needed to be successful. That we have the necessary utensils to bring ourselves out of this condition. And then he went into, as you can bring it up if you will, he went into again the understanding of the Abraham covenant. The teachings went into which begin at and he said unto Abraham, nor of a surety that thy seed shall be sojourners in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. And afterwards I shall, what is that? And afterwards shall they come out with great substance, but thou shalt go. So I'm misreading it. I can't see it that good.
They shall come.
No. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. And afterwards they shall
come out with great substance.
Right.
But thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age. And for in the fourth generation they shall come hither again.
Okay. But he got to this part And this is where he went with it, because he said after that 400 years, then God will come. That's when he began to speak on Master Fard Muhammad.
Yes, sir. And they have the timeline wrong, brothers and sisters. So they're calling Master Fard Muhammad the one that was to come after this 400 years. Master Fard Muhammad didn't come after the 400 years. We were still in the 400-year time period. They don't understand that. So their whole timeline is off. They have it all wrong, brothers and sisters. All wrong. We were brought over in 1555. We gave them 64 years to make a slave. That was somewhat of a grace period. Okay? And it was really not the first slave. It was really the first Negro bot programmed to self-destruct without asking any questions. Because what they did to us, slavery was such a small percentage of what they did. Slavery is the economic aspect. Everything else they did to us was terrorizing us and putting us through straight horror. And it shows that in the Abrahamic covenant. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thou seed shall be sojourners in a land that is not theirs. And you can keep reading it, brothers and sisters. So their whole timeline is wrong about the 400 years being up. That's why they keep saying that 400 years was up in 1914 and Master Fard Muhammad was the one who's coming after the 400-year time period. They got it wrong. The Son of Man is the one that will come after the 400-year time period, or pure, because he's been here going through the Holocaust with us the whole time. So the biggest thing about the Abrahamic covenant is that they don't even want to read down to the part where it says we're going home. It says, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance. Come out means that we're leaving. And to reinforce that, it says, unto thy seed have I given this land from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river of Euphrates. When you look on a map, that is Arabia. Everyone is lying about this covenant, brothers and sisters. They're all our enemies. They're lying to us. The false Jews are lying to us, saying that this Abrahamic covenant is for them. They're not in Arabia. They're sitting off in a Palestinian country. Farrakhan is lying, saying that he'll read the covenant and then say we're staying here. It clearly says we're leaving. And another thing, come out with great substance. That don't mean coming out with money, land, or anything. We are the great substance. We are the silver and the gold. So, the Abrahamic covenant is so clear that you would have to purposely be ignoring what the covenant is saying not to understand it. Now, do you have anything to add?
Right. Where as he was going into the Abrahamic covenant, and he's speaking about the God presenting himself. After that the God will present himself, which Master Fard Muhammad presented himself and raised up one from among us as the messenger. And the messenger came, and the messenger gave us, raised up a nation inside of a nation, and produced the things that it consisted on, producing food, clothing, and shelter, the things that it takes to build a nation. However, he's explaining his intentions is to say, if we come together and produce food, clothing, and shelter, if we import, export, if we have banking system, which the messenger already had done, already produced, that this will bring us out of our situation. But the whole thing is to say, he's saying that we have everything that we need and was given everything that we needed from the messenger through Master Fard Muhammad through the messenger. And only thing that's needed now is land. Only thing that wasn't given is land. So he said, after reading the Abrahamic covenant, he said, I know you don't think that Master Farah Muhammad or is going to split the Atlantic and have you walk back through the Atlantic, because he don't understand the scriptures. He said that, well, I don't know why you think we gotta go somewhere or we going somewhere. And then he's definitely saying that we're not going anywhere, because this is what he's saying, this nation was built by us. But he goes into a spiel previously about from the a letter by Frederick Douglass around the time of the man. So I forget the actual
52 or so.
The actual name title of the letter, but and then he shared that in response to that, and to get it out the horse's mouth, that Abraham Lincoln said that this nation, the blacks, that the whites will always be in control, or right, or more dominant or in control, and that blacks will always be inferior to them. And he wasn't thinking about blacks. He was thinking about the nation when he was speaking about being inferior of what's taking place for the nation. He made these changes, or he was considering making changes, not because of the conditions of the black man. So he went into that. He told the same spiel of the conditions of the black man through Frederick Douglass, writing his this writing that he wrote, that the conditions, and that the black man was not even considered a man, and didn't have anything to do with the laws and principles of America, so that it was blasphemy to the black man about this independence and the jubilee that they're going through and having, because none of it implied to the black man and woman. So he went into that, and after going into that, he says that this land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York, to the islands. And
and the irony of it, he said, somebody sing the song. I grew up in the Nation of Islam school, so I don't know the song. So he wants to sing the song about this land is your land, this land is my land. Sick, brothers and sisters. Sick. This land is not our land. It's not even the Europeans' land. Okay, the natives were here before them. They came and took them off this land, killed them. And the thing is, they came from Europe. Once they ran through it and depleted their land, they went on a mission to conquer the rest of the world. And so he's talking about, we're going to be staying here. This is our land. We're not going anywhere because of all the blood, sweat, and tears we put into it. That's exactly why we don't want to be here. We don't want to be in the land of our imprisonment. How are these devils going to be judged for what they did if we're still sitting next door right with them? So just simple mathematics. I mean, it don't take a rocket scientist to put this together, brothers and sisters. They're lying to us. And then, can you reform a devil? No, all the prophets have tried. Yet he's sitting up here saying that we're going to stay with them. And not only that, he got the biggest demon, which is a devil man, so-called well, really misleading our people. He's misleading our people. And then got devils in the inner wire. You're trying to reform devils. That's exactly what you're trying to do. That's why they keep saying, we got to look out for all of our brothers, black, brown, yellow, and including, and that's what he's doing, including his demons, his demon siblings. So yes, sir. That's just real sick and twisted with it. After everything that he just explained about how they will always, no matter how high we try to climb the totem pole, we will always be nothing but another Negro to these devils. He said, if you could be the president of the United States, you're still nothing but a Negro. But then going to turn around and start singing, this land is your land, this land is my land. You might as well stay the national anthem while you're at it. Because all these songs came about because of them raping, murder, beating, and completely dehumanizing us. And they're singing these songs in the process. These songs weren't coming from scriptures or, this came from their twisted little minds. What you have to say?
What his he went into Ishmael went into when he went into the ditch land, or he Ishmael also was saying that we're not going, like you said, we're not going to go anywhere. But but it also that it was something that he said
he was saying whatever we need, we can make it happen as far as having our own.
He said, well, he was saying that we have everything we need. We've been given everything that we needed. So we, as a people, have to come together and have to do for self. Knowing that has, the messenger has done those things. But he's telling you, you're not going anywhere, but he's going to tell you, you need a banking system. You need your hospital system. You need this, but he's telling you, you need to separate and be independent, as if there's a way that you're going to stay in this land and separate and be independent. It doesn't even match. It's senseless.
It's senseless.
And then he's saying that you need to get we need to get our own banking system. Or you ain't doing nothing but saying you're going to get your land and do just like they're doing right now. You're going to intertwine your reality in theirs, because you have to partake in their reality, in their systems, in their functions that as already you're not included in that. So he's saying that if you get these things, then this is how you are going to make yourself free, make yourself independent, freedom, and give yourself justice and equality, the things that that you're missing, and that when other people come, they come in, Haitians or other African, they come in and they have they're very confident because they have their own culture, their own society. When none of those things are changing the conditions, are going to bring you out of the state of mind that the world has been taken up under the control of Satan, the control of the devil, and the world is America is being judged. Not only America is being judged, but the world is being judged, and the world is being the world of the devil and Satan is being taken out all over the planet. So his lie to try to get you to not see the truth of you have a land that's been promised to you in through the Abrahamic covenant, but he is going to tell you directly out his mouth. So we are not making up anything. The basis of what he's saying is you're not going anywhere. You're not the land that is promised to you. You're not going to be able to get to it. You can't have it. You have to stay here. And then if you don't submit to Farrakhan's rule or will, then that's why he went into the spirit of sin. That's why God is permitting us to be depressed and afflicted still until we submit to Lewis, the Eugene Brown, exactly, the chief demon. He said until we submit to him, then we'll keep experiencing this. And then once we decide that we want out
of this world and into Farrakhan's, then we'll get what we need.
We have to come together and then we will receive what we need, as if you can produce what's needed over having a bank and having your imports and exports, things that the messenger already produced, things that they're talking about. Lewis had been asking it and supposed to have been producing for 40 plus years and have nothing. It's been, yes.
Yeah, okay, I want to add to that. Every time we've had something for ourselves, we had the devils or the demons come and snatch it right from under us. They did reparations years ago. The whole Georgia coast was given to our brothers and sisters that survived that portion of the Holocaust. And no more than 8-10 months later, they came and took all of that back and murdered our brothers and sisters in the process. We had the NOI, a safe haven for our brothers and sisters to coast us through until us getting home for 42 years. Food, clothing, shelter, transportation, education, communication. We had it all. We didn't want anything. And that was to get us through until it's time to go home. That was to build the bridge and for our brothers and sisters could understand that we are at war and that we have a reward, and to come into knowledge of self for who we are. That way, when the Son of Man showed up on the scene, we'd all be prepared. And so every time we've had something for ourselves, these devils and demons have worked overtime to diminish it to nothing. And not only that, make us a laughingstock in the process. And that's exactly what has been done. So when he's saying, Farrakhan have not prepared anything for our people. And they sit up here begging for all this money. All our people have been doing is lining Farrakhan's pockets for 42 plus years. And let me get that wording right. We had for 40 years, we had our safe haven up under the messenger, Elijah Muhammad. And then when Farrakhan came in for his 42-year reign, he dismantled everything. And then the second reason, this is a bunch of BS. No two realities can be in place at the same time. The American dream and the Abrahamic covenant cannot both be into motion at the same time. One reality is going to overpower the other one, which is what you're seeing right now, brothers and sisters. The reality of the Abrahamic covenant is completely knocking out this American dream, this American vision, and this American dream is permeating the whole planet, because these Europeans are at the center of all of this. And so that's how you know that mathematically it's impossible for us to stay here with them unless we're going to submit to them, which is what we've been doing. They're not going to submit to us. Everything with our reality and our vision completely wipes them out. There's no room for them in our vision. So one is going to have to submit to the other. And if we already know they're not going to submit to us, then that means that we would have to keep being their slaves and Holocaust victims. We have to keep being afflicted and tormented. So, I just had to make sure that we make that clear. Ways you can tell that lies are being taught to you. It's not mathematical. How can you stay here and they have to be judged for what they did to us? So, and everyone else has a home. He's talking about Haitians and these different Africans coming over, our brothers and sisters. They have a home. We need to go back to our home, brothers and sisters. Because those of us that are here, the Levites and the tribe of Shabazz that are here, we've been going through the Holocaust and we have not been home. For the tribe of Shabazz, it's been 50,000 years. So that's a long time to be homesick. Is there anything else you would like to add? There's a conflicting message today, brothers and sisters. Independent separation. Separation, independence. We cannot be truly independent until we separate. And we cannot truly separate until you understand who your enemies are, so you know what you're separating from. Because these demons and devils, especially these demons, they walk like us, talk like us, look like us. They don't think like us. And they have really been deceiving us for almost 500 years now. And so that's our first war, is with the demons. Because they're the ones keeping us from coming together. We have to separate them out, completely out of the original nation. So, and that's what the NOI is filled with, demons. Farrakhan is the chief demon. He's the personification of a hypocrite. And therefore he is like a magnet, bringing all demons and hypocrites to him. And so Ishmael, he's in quite a bit of trouble as well, because he knows the truth. However, he's selling out. So he's a hypocrite as well. However, Farrakhan, he's a magnet for all the demons to come to him, and it's actually helping us out so we can get them in all one area and go ahead and separate them out and completely get rid of them, send them back to their swine daddies. So, brothers and sisters, we need to understand what's going on. This war, any day now. The JCPOA is dead. It's been dead. They've just been lying to you about it, making you believe that they might go back to diplomatic solutions. There is no diplomatic solution when you're dealing with a beast. And so their vision is going completely down the drain. America and Britain is about to get kicked out the Middle East. False Israel's going under siege. These beasts are going to show their true colors. They will be attacking us. A lot of our people will be lost for the lack of knowledge. Okay, that's why we're up here giving you this information. Warning you what's going to happen before it happens. And letting you know how you're going to be safe by applying the 5 mathematical pillars of Islam and preparing to flee, evacuating. And we have the points. We have already stated that information. If you want to know details, just contact us. This is something you're not going to get from Farrakhan, Ishmael, or anyone else outside of Master Solomon and those of us standing with him. We are at war. Do you have anything else before we close out?
That's it.
All right, brothers and sisters. Oh, we will never forget the Holocaust. 24/7, 365, torment, torture, disembowel. Yeah, they did. They did disembowel us. Murder us, hang us, killing us for sport and play, cutting our bodies open, tinkering with our organs. All right, murdering our babies, feeding our babies to alligators. That is not anything that has had nothing to do with slavery. And that's what they're being judged for. They're not being judged for being weak and wicked. They're being judged for what they did to us. And it's not slavery. So don't forget the Holocaust, brothers and sisters. They're working overtime to make sure you don't understand it. They're calling it critical race theory. That's all a lie. With that being said, we'll be back next Sunday with another critique. Thank you for having us.
Awesome.